Thank you everybody here, and thank you all the honorable guests here, and also all the audience here. Good day for every one of you. I'm speaking today about the Hong Kong the post anti-extradition bill movement. What's next? I think that's the key. I think for the 2019 to 20 anti-extradition movement, we are very clear about how hard we are striving. And afterwards, maybe some of our friends and relatives are still in Hong Kong, and some of us are now in different areas in the whole world. And you will see the diaspora Hong Kongers group have been increasing all over the world. And when we double think afterwards, that is 2 years after the anti-extradition movement, what are our reflections and what are the upcoming strategies? We will see that for those who are now in Hong Kong, it's clear that they need to strive hard. I recently read a paper, a document from Joshua Wong. Joshua Wong is a very famous activist who is now imprisoned in Hong Kong. And his article said that in the past, Hong Kong is striving from 6 to 9, and now we are striving from 1 to 2. So at least we are still striving. At least the Hong Kongers in Hong Kong, they are still doing their own job. For example, recently in the Chinese University of Hong Kong, some of those graduates wear some white pockets or white kind of plastic bags all over the places, and to have some kind of way and an art exhibition method to tell the whole world that we are still not forgetting what the seniors have been doing back 3 years ago, and they are still now striving for basic freedom and also basic order. It's an order not by the authoritarian rule. It's an order as a civil and free society, and that's something that they are really doing well. And you can see a lot of cases, a lot of press, a lot of journalists still striving hard in Hong Kong, like those like in the Fa Ting Xian. It is the media over the social media about those in the courts, those cases in the courts, and also about the Renews, who is a one-man media to cover the news in Hong Kong. They are so honorable, and they are still striving hard to get the news out to the whole world. And when you ask back us about what's up to us to do, I would say I have a 4+4 strategy for you to understand. 4+4, which means that 4 things which are really, we need to do it on a daily, or somehow have a division labor to do these things. And other 4 things that we need to do on a daily basis. So what are the 4+4 things that we are doing? So let me explain them one by one. Okay, one is about the protest. You will see that in the Manchester incident, that is many Hong Kongers have protested outside the Manchester Chinese embassy and were caught into it and beaten, and this is really a tragedy. And also we will see that these protests are still in vibrant mode all over the world. We should keep up the momentum and our strength to do these protests. So different people, different diaspora Hong Kongers all over the world should strive their best to do the protest that cannot be done in Hong Kong nowadays. That's protest. Okay. Number 2 is association. Like I have established the Taiwan Hong Kong Association back in the late 2020 in Taiwan, because I'm now residing in Taiwan. And I'm also a Taiwan national as well. So the key about the association is as an association that can really give support and also mutual fraternity among those diaspora Hong Kongers and also some migrant Hong Kongers who are now in Taiwan. For example, we will organize some Christmas fair, Christmas exhibition or Easter exhibition going forward. And we also will have some tour trips to organize with those travel agents to go to different places in Taiwan about their democratic movement in the past few years, and especially for those aboriginals that we know the history of Taiwan. So that this will be communication and assimilation from diaspora Hong Kongers into Taiwan. I would like to say that many people are not activists. They are ordinary people. They need to find their own identity all over the places. So there will be an identity crisis when we visit a new places, start to live in a new place. Whether we are still a Hong Konger, or we still become a Taiwanese, or an American, British, or an Australian. So we need to very think carefully what it is. My identity thing is that I'm of course a Taiwanese national. Okay, I need to be loyal and also pledge allegiance with Taiwan. The second thing is that I'm also a diaspora Hong Konger. We will not forget what's happening in Hong Kong. We will assist those who are striving for the freedom and democracy for the Hong Kongers in the future. So the association has kind of think that we can really do all these soft things to help to coordinate a bigger group of people all around this country. And of course, many people have organized different associations all over the world and in different countries. That's really appreciated. The third thing is proposals to the government. For example, if there's any kind of policy to be changed or to be enacted, so we need to make proposals. Some would call some policy recommendations. Some would call it lobbying. So it depends on how each country will work. For example, in the US, there will be HKDC, who is doing a good job in the States to do the lobbying job in the past. And of course, each association or each national or each citizen of Hong Kong who has become a new national in Taiwan can also do their way to find constructive and effective methods to make these proposals done. Okay. For example, in the US, there's a Hong Kong Democracy and Human Rights Act, and also Hong Kong Autonomy Act. These are things that they will penalize those who are breaching the autonomy of Hong Kong, and also make sure that Hong Kong is closely watched by the international world. So that's something that can be done in the future. The fourth thing is mutual support. We can say a social safety net. Many students who participated, or youngsters, or even some adults who have participated in the anti-extradition bill movement have moved to Taiwan or moved to every country around the world. How to support them, whether to support them, to what extent to support them, and when there are emergencies, what can be covered? Will there be any jobs to be introduced to those who are in need? I think these are the four things we can do in a good shape. And this needs concerted and associated powers and methods to do this. So these are the four things. And how about the +4? I think the other +4 are even more important. Okay, number one is about narrative. What's our narrative about Hong Kong future? Will we still stick to the one country, two systems, or just a provincial faction of China, or what? Or we need to strive for Hong Kong independence. Okay, this is the key issue laying before us, and we need to think hard about how to answer this question. I would say the time or fortune is not in front of us. Okay, of course, nowadays the chief executive said, John Lee said, opportunity and timing are now here in Hong Kong. Of course, the real Hong Kongers have lost their opportunity and timing back in 2020 because of the crackdown by the national security law. But we will be very sure that not lay back, strive to live, be well prepared, and fortune will come in the future. Narrative should focus on what's next for Hong Kong. We can be having a lot of narratives about what's in the past British colonial rule, and also the past 20-something years about the CCP indirect rule of Hong Kong. But now it's a new Hong Kong ruled by the CCP. And this CCP power is now increasing their autocratic nature to crack down on the human rights and the peaceful mind of Hong Kongers. So now what are our narrative? What is the Hong Kong that we want to have? This is the narrative that I want to make sure that people can have a very wonderful discussion about this, okay? And I think many Hong Kongers scattered around the world, diaspora Hong Kongers, can play an active role to really have a very good kind of communication or even argumentation about this important topic. Okay, the timing and opportunity is not here, but what's next in the future. That is when the CCP is going to demise at a very sudden speed and will be going to be cracked down. Then what's next for Hong Kong? If we are not well prepared at that point, that will be a problem in the future. The second thing is about media. Media exposure, the press, is very important. Nowadays, there are scattered media all over the world. And some good media have their own journalists to really do a good job to report Hong Kong news and China news. Okay, we have Green Bean in the UK. We have the 最新闻 in the UK. We have C News in the UK, and we have certain, as I named it in the past. But I think the resources are scattered around here, and whether we can have media with well-trained professional journalists who can really do a good job by a mode of content provider mode, that we can have someone to provide content to outsider journalists to write news reports. I think this is very important in the future to let the world know about Hong Kong and China. The third thing is about learning. We should keep on learning all the days. We need to read books. We need to learn daily by daily different new things. And also in terms of philosophy and thinking, we need to be well learned before we can move up to the next step. The fourth thing is training. Training is something I cannot tell in details here. That is, we need to train up the youngsters, or even myself, to be healthy and also well trained before we can. For example, when there's a bomb hitting by the CCP into Taiwan, what should we do? We should hide or seek something somewhere else, or we should fight. And how to fight? If you have a gun, how to use it? You have a knife, how to use it? You have something on your hand, then how to use it to hit people. And I think this is something that is, I would not say military training. It's something about defensive training that we need to have. And going forward, we need to look at two important points. One is identity kind of confusion. Okay, we should be a Hong Konger for the rest of the life. Then what's about whether you will become a British national? And with a British national, Britain will have its own national interest. Likewise, in Taiwan has its own national interest to strive and to protect. And there will be a lot of cognitive warfare, that is from CCP, to make sure the people will stir up troubles or division between Hong Kongers and Taiwan, for example. There are a lot of outcry about the opposition against some Taiwan immigration policy and how people will become a Taiwan national nowadays in Taiwan. So what's true and what's false? To what extent Taiwan government has not been doing enough, and to what extent they have been doing enough, but there are some exaggerated kind of criticism about their policy. We need to be very concrete and accurate to do so. And also to build up
a new... I hate to interrupt you, Eric, but we are running very short of time, so please try to wind up.
Yes. So the key is about the identity. We need to have a new identity in a new country, and also a diaspora Hong Konger identity in the future. That's something that we have a double identity in the future, and how to balance and how to be well settled in our peace of mind. The second thing and the last thing is about China. Okay, China-US relationship is the key, and of course Taiwan is now on a flagship. It's an unsink island now here in Taiwan, and how can we hand in hand to protect this country is the key. Many people will say, the CCP Liberation Army will attack Taiwan very soon or whatsoever. There are a lot of kind of things saying about that, but the key is it has been outcrying for 70 plus years. So what's next? So we need to be very sure that we stand with Taiwanese all together, be one of them, assimilated with them, to fight together for the future. I think that's important. Hong Kong is now close to that, okay? The police force, education, judicial system, civil society, the press, the media are all in a demise. But there's still one. And like Joe Xie said, how to be one to be two. Okay, not 6 to 9, but 1 to 2. But in Taiwan, of course, we are not one. we are now 7, 8, 9, and how to keep the sovereignty brilliant. I think that's the key, right? Without sovereignty, there will be no democracy to be protected. So we need to double think about the narrative of Hong Kong. That's what I'm advocating here. So hopefully this short chat will be inspiring to you. And we look forward to others' comments. Thank you.